मैं हमारे मुख्य अतिथि अध्यक्ष एवं प्रबंध निदेशक श्री अरुण कुमार सिंह सर से निवेदन करता हूं कि इस अवसर पर हमारा मार्गदर्शन करें।
4 बजे या 5 तो मैं कर लेता हूँ। 4 बजे 4:55 में मैं निकलता हूँ। Mr. Mane, Mr. Gupta, our friend, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to all of you. And I must say this is this is occasion to congratulate all of us, including the people who are present here, for on the occasion of birth anniversary of, although it is belated, 131st birth anniversary of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Now, somebody just now, Anil rightly said, I was listening to him, very rarely somebody gets born with the caliber and thinking and an evolution. In fact, whatever I little know, he also evolved over life. His thoughts, he started with, because that time India, you can imagine that how it would be, and what will be the status of particularly underprivileged people. And mostly drawn on, as he rightly said, it was not on the basis of talent, but it was basis of where you were born. So something that this thought that basically that thought of equality is something that even I would say Buddha didn't dare to come that side. He preached oneness. Buddha also never taught equality. And here is a man who says that no, beautiful word, it is not the birth or death. What happens between birth and death, that is important. And only way of salvation is through education. And he is the one, normally you will see the political caste. So was he a politician? I would say he was less a politician, he was more, literally not a politician. He was basically a reformist. So he started with his education, own education, and then he started reforming from bottom. Because you have to start from somewhere, from where you start. So you start from the most visible and problem in the society. And then he himself keeps educating, goes to best institutes in the world. As he rightly said, a jurist, a lawmaker, an economist. In fact, some doctrines are marvelous when it comes to the socio-economic justice. And then social transformation. Very rarely you will find someone who is so adept and so good at all sides. In fact, I remember someone told me that society and economics can't be separated. Social issues and economics are basically intertwined. And unless you address both, if you try to address only one, it won't work. If you try to address together, in some measure, the result is exponential. And he was the first to pronounce that possibly socio-upliftment and economic upliftment both are must. Otherwise, there many came who did only about socio-upliftment. Particularly in Maharashtra, all the social reformers, if you see, they stayed away from economic side. But here is a man who said that no, this is incomplete without addressing economics. So this is something that our entire country, entire world will remain, indebted to him to answer this question of socio-economic divide. He said there is no divide, it is together. So, and he says unless you address it wholesomely, it will not work. Then you see his doctrines, his drafting of our constitution, and the preamble. Preamble itself is by people like us, we are engineers, so only thing we have less patience to. But preamble itself is, he says Samvidhan just now. Okay, what is the preamble of the constitution itself? One small thing says everything. So Samvidhan ke upar there is a preamble. Preamble of the constitution also. It is a marvel. It is something that, one can think that once Winston Churchill was asked that, somebody went to invite him to speak in a forum. So he said that the person, he asked, when do you want me? So he said that, you tell me any day. He says, look, if you give me 5 minutes, I need 1 month. If I have to speak for 5 minutes, I need 1 month. If you want to give me half an hour, I need 15 minutes. 15 minutes, 15 minutes speech, I need a week. And if you give no time to me, limitless, I'm ready right now. So basically you do a lot of preparation to say short things. Short things require depth. Otherwise you can keep speaking endless words, so no problem. And here the preamble of Constitution is something that whenever you read, you will find that a man must be in what thought to come there, to this, one preamble of Constitution. So we need not say more, except for that a part of Buddhism I practice, so my respect for him is in the end, he becomes a Buddhist. And Buddhism is all about oneness. A man whom probably some part of the society would have seen him as sectarian, saying that he advocated for only one, but it is not true. In fact, if you read whole thing, he is all about equality. Even he said about women, working, that unless women are empowered, society will not reach where it wants to reach. So very great thoughts, and that too, how much ahead of time. At least today we are in a nice air-conditioned hall we are sitting. Country has prospered in the last 70-80 years. Now at least the divide is not as big as you would be 60-70 years before. So a lot of things came because of his efforts. So it is a great size. I must compliment you for remembering someone who has solved our problem. Normally after the problem, the fellow who solves the problem, he is never remembered because his utility value is gone. And if the person had utility value, that is always in future. It is never in past. So some institution, some society must keep doing what you are doing today. Regardless of whether we become Europe and America, like society. That time also somebody should say, here was a man who talked and did things which were so relevant for a country like us. So this is a time to pay our obeisance and respect for the person who made our country so great. And with these words, I think I have, if you consider, everybody comes in the path to contribute. But many contributed, I would say, at past, may if you count somebody great strength, somebody gave morality, somebody gave modern India, but somebody gave the pillars to how to hold it together. Because holding together, what is happening in Sri Lanka today? And yesterday, Prime Minister was hiding in a naval base. At least in our country, in the last 70 years, never Prime Minister ran to a naval base or somewhere. Even we had worst time of 1977, when Indira Gandhi got thrown out, Janata Dal government came 78 or 77, something and that, after emergency. But still, country didn't chase to kill. All it said is that, look, we are removing you. 2-3 years later, she came back. In 80, she came back again to power. So such a nice safety valve in the system. Such a nice safety valve in the system. If society gets irritated, it just प्रेशर कुकर का थोड़ा सेफ्टी वाल्व है, थोड़ा निकल जाता है, नया इलेक्शन आता है, नए लोग आ जाते हैं, फिर अगेन होप ग्रोज, डिस्पेयर, maximum despair in our country has not lasted for more than 2-3 years, to the best of my memory of, because if you are watching politics for long, 2-3 years maximum, people wait for 2-3 years to throw someone out and bring someone in. It is other thing that the person who comes in, what he does and all that is a different story altogether, but society remains at peace with itself. Therefore, I say that the constitution itself, ours, is guarantees non-violence. Because it is such a fantastic system that safety valve gets released, all the energy and anger goes out, and new system sets in. And also it takes everyone along. There is a famous quote that will of majority is will of God. So basically democracy is founded on that principle, will of majority is will of God. So therefore the will of majority always in 5 years throws up a social order, and that is relevant with the time. Every time, time changes and the situation changes, environment changes, issues changes, and leadership and the system gets thrown. But the beauty is in our constitution, which has enabled all this. Otherwise, people have thrown, failed nations have, average, I believe, 12 years was the average life of a constitution in many countries. Today is 50 plus 50, 70 years, 72 years. And it looks like that it looks stable for another 30-40 years, at least for sure. So at least 100-120 years, one constitution is holding. Even British Empire, if you see, they kept changing lock, stock, barrel. But ours something relevant. So it is a good time to remember a great soul like him, and wish you a wonderful time. I will be here up to 3:55, because 4 o'clock I have to have a VC with a Japanese from Tokyo, which I have been deferring for last 1 month, and this guy is tired now. He's a BCG Asia head, and he's saying, look, I need to talk to you. So I said, today, again tomorrow onward, we are the same world. So wish you a wonderful time, and we should also congratulate you once again to have found some time to devote at least some time in remembrance, fond remembrance of a person who deserves to be remembered more. Thank you.